pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing. Deputy Mayor Sarah, reads the prayer.
Heavenly Father,
Train's coming. We finally got the train working.
Heavenly Father, please watch over our meeting and grant us the ability to see the world through each other's eyes. We ask that you guide our hearts and minds so that we can work together in a joint effort to move our community in a positive direction. Amen.
Amen. I do better when you talk, so keep talking. Okay, welcome everybody to our 2019 February 20th meeting. First, I'd like to say happy birthday to our attorney over there. So, happy birthday, Fred. I won't ask you how old you are.
I was born 3 years after Abraham Lincoln.
Okay. Well, 5:30 we went into executive session, and as usual, our attorney, our old attorney, will give us an update on what we talked about in executive session.
I should have stayed in Florida.
Yeah.
In the executive session, the mayor and city council discussed two matters dealing with personnel. The manager advised that Tyler Sarlik has been appointed to the Brigantine Police Department. In the second matter, council had a general discussion about staffing levels within the fire department. This was a general discussion only. No decisions were made. That's it.
Thank you, Fred. At this time, I'm going to ask the polar bearers to, I'll come down there and give the proclamation to the polar bears. But I know Mr. Bennett asked me if we were going to have our council meeting tonight because of the snow, and I said, well, we're supposed to have a bunch of polar bears there. How would it look if we canceled because of little snowflakes? So you're the reason why we're still having our council meeting. So I like. You done eating over there?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. I'd like Councilman Reardon to come down with me, and anybody that who loves the polar bears is certainly welcome to come down and greet them.
Paul?
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, please.
Come on, Paul.
Come on, Rick.
Crowded.
Does this mean we don't love you?
Look good.
Feel lost. I only got one plaque. I don't know where it's going to go.
We're gonna have a cheer.
Hopefully, Bruce.
Do
Yeah.
you want us to face you, or do you want us to face this way?
I'd like to talk to you back here. Oh, yeah. We'll do it afterward. Because you're part of the polar bear. I might hand it to you. Okay. Proclamation for the polar bear plunge. You guys do a great job every year as usual. It says thousands of brave polar bear plungers have taken an icy dip in the Atlantic Ocean for the last 20 years. Get wet for a bet. Whereas the Polar Bear Plunge Committee has volunteered numerous hours coordinating shirt sales, mail, advertisement, sponsorship, color guard, numerous things for the New Year's Day plunge. To our beautiful island community to get together for a reason. Trying to rhyme. And whereas since 2003, tireless efforts of the Polar Bear Plunge Committee raised and donated over $615,000 to the Fisher House, an organization that provides housing, transportation to our wounded military members and their family. And whereas 2019, the Polar Bear Plunge Committee has soared to new heights, raising $79,000 for veterans. Amazing, guys, amazing. Now, therefore, I, Andy Simpson, Mayor Brigantine, and on behalf of our council here, and behalf of the people of Brigantine, hereby give you the Polar Bear Plunge Committee, and I thank you very much for all your hard effort.
Gather around.
Let's take a picture and then you can say another word and I'll get back up.
No, come on.
Back up.
Come on, come on.
Back up. Back up.
Back up to the road.
Look, that thing can spread out just a little bit. I'm serious, back up a little. You're about another 4 or 5 feet. Now you're getting there. Now you're getting there. Rick's photobombing back there. For the sake of some sort of balance, would you move back and forward? And jump. Oh, perfect. Fred, you want to get in here for birthday? All right, everybody give me a nice smile. It's good. Tip this forward. Okay, like that.
Emmett, do you want to get in the picture? We can
No.
see you. No?
Well, all right, one more time. Everybody smile. This is the keeper. Beautiful. Okay, everybody turn to the right. Takes out of a scalp, the battery's died.
Oh, it's getting wild now, huh? Hello, hello. Thank you. Thank you. They told me to say thank you, but I have to say that we all did a really great job, and we couldn't do this without you. Huh? Okay now.
Yeah, there's one.
Okay.
I knew this was when everybody See you, John.
Thank you, Polar Bear.
Thanks.
See you, Trish.
Okay. Now I need a first and a second for approval of the council meetings and executive meetings minutes for February 6, 2019.
So move.
Second.
Any questions? Can I have roll call, please?
Lettieri?
Yes.
Haney?
Yes.
DeLucre?
Yes.
Reardon?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Mayor Simpson?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Before I forget, Councilwoman View is not here tonight. She's away with her family, and she just wants to tell everybody she's fine and she's having a good time, even though she's with Gordy. Okay, I need first and second on approvals for the payroll requisition list and operating costs.
Make a motion.
Second. Any questions?
Yeah, I have a question about 19-215, professional services for Regina Marie Hers. I want to see what that was for.
Regina is the city's pension consultant. When we have employees, police, fire, public works, white collar, that are going to retire or in the process of retiring, we've retained her services so she can help guide them through the system. Regina is a retired pension employee and trustee. She's 30-some years experience. I can tell you from personal experience, she came to my office in my home, and inside of 10 minutes she had me set up and done. I had my medical benefits before I even left employment here back in the spring.
The basis she's a consultant.
She is a consultant. She'll sit down with every employee. She'll give talks, seminars, whatever you want. But normally she sits down one-on-one or with a couple of the employees and gets them started in the process.
Perfect, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Hearing none, can I have roll call, please?
Lettieri?
Yes.
Haney?
Yes.
DeLucre?
Yes.
Reardon?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Mayor Simpson?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, I want to open up the meeting to the public. Anybody who wants to talk about agenda items only, come up and have your name and address sworn in. Seeing nobody, I'm going to go back to our agenda. Ordinance number 2, 2019, public hearing and adoption amending the dune maintenance ordinance. Could I have a first and second, please?
So move.
Second.
Okay, this is an ordinance we took care of last time. Is there any questions by council?
Not a question, just a comment.
Okay, questions or comments?
May lead to questions, one never knows. And the comment is that in case the public or those listening at home aren't aware, this is simply amending the existing ordinance to basically take council out of the process completely, meaning take public awareness of these applications and the consideration of the applications out of the public eye and away from public meetings, which, as I said last time, I don't understand why we'd want to do that, but then I don't understand why we're doing this entire program. I've invited people over these past many months, going back to when we first adopted in late 2018 this newly revised program, I've invited people to explain what is the public benefit. And last time through, we heard that maybe the public benefit is related to fire protection. That doesn't really hold up, because the question that was posed and was answered accurately by our chief was whether if you had a lot of dried out vegetative matter, that would pose an enhanced risk because that's potentially fuel for fire, which of course it is, but that's true whether it's in the dune system or in your front yard or anywhere else. The problem, or another problem, with this entire dune maintenance program is that we don't require people, if in fact that is a risk, and I've not seen any evidence that we have a history of fire-related issues because of dead vegetation in our dune field. But the problems are kind of twofold. If that is a problem, let's assume it is, then we don't oblige people to clean that dead vegetative matter out of the dune field in the area where they're working. We require them only to remove the things which they cut. So if you go in and cut some bayberries, you got to get rid of the bayberries, but if on the ground you already had, again, in theory, some buildup of dead vegetative matter, there's no obligation that that be removed. But the bigger problem is that if that was a problem, if that was a substantial fire risk, we would need to make sure that the entire dune field was cleared and safe. It's kind of illogical to say that there's a benefit in somebody along a perhaps 100-foot wide or 60-foot wide, whatever is the width of their property along the dune field, that it's a benefit to the city for them to clear out that area when right next to it you might have the very same conditions that you claim are posing a fire hazard within the area that has been maintained. So that explanation doesn't really make a lot of sense, and even if that were a real problem, the way we're going about addressing it in this program is that it doesn't address it, because people are not obliged to remove that material, and every area of the dune field that is not cleared, for whatever reason, maintains the same potentially dangerous characteristics. So it's kind of in my view, that's just a make-weight explanation for something that really can't be explained or justified.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I think one of the things to understand too when we're talking about our dune vegetation permits is that this has actually been a practice in Brigantine for over 35 years now. One of the things we're really trying to do with this practice is to make sure that we make it better and make it efficient for Brigantine. The contractors have to be tree specialists or licensed arborists. This way we're making sure that we have professional people doing the work. We also had Stu Farrow, who's the executive director of the Stockton Coastal Research, come here last November, and he actually testified before council that everything that we're doing is in line with DEP regulations.
It should be.
And the other thing to realize too is when you talk about the Japanese black pine, this is an invasive species to the dunes. They can grow in excess of 8 foot. As the Japanese black pines grow, they actually choke out the other vegetation that's here in the dunes, which actually could cause loss to the dunes. So one of the things we want to make sure is that the public good here is that we maintain those dunes and that they stay protected. In my meetings with the DEP and also with the Army Corps of Engineers, they actually use Brigantine as the example of how a dune field should be. When you look at Superstorm Sandy, our dune field here actually held up and was very, very successful and protected the island of Brigantine, and that's something that we want to make sure that continues, and that's simply what we're doing here with this process.
Thank you. Anybody else? Mike?
Well, I certainly agree with Vince here, what he just said, and as far as Rick's comments, I mean, he's been on council for close to 10 years, and he never did anything about this before, and all of a sudden, when we amended this ordinance to tighten it up, to make it better, and now all of a sudden it's an issue. These people who got the permits in the past their names were never mentioned in front of council before, ever, except for the last several months. So he's trying to say we're not being transparent. We are fully transparent. The DEP, they prohibit environmentally harmful activities to the dunes. They've been here, they've been notified. Dr. Stu Farrell's been here. We've brought the specialists out. Rick, on the other hand, makes all these statements, and he brings nobody out here. There's all kinds of environmental groups. Not one has shown up, not one has been brought in, but yet they'll put pictures on the internet and say we're cutting, hacking, and stumping shrubs and bushes. That's what they put out there, but it's totally false. It's totally untrue. We're not doing that. We're properly maintaining the dunes, and guess what? You trim a bush, you trim a shrub, it's like a haircut. It grows back. There's no dunes are being destroyed by this activity. That's all I have to say.
Thank you.
And unless you're going to speak on this, I have a response.
Yeah.
Since this is the last time we'll talk about this publicly, how many times has the name of Stu Farrell been invoked? I've lost count. Stu Farrell did not come here and say this was a good program. Stu Farrell was asked, or does the...
Rick.
Mike, could you not interrupt me? I let you
Stu said
speak.
right in front of us that it was a good program.
Mike.
Don't say he didn't say
Hey,
that. We
if
were
you
all
have
here.
If you want to respond when I'm done, do it when I'm done.
I'm responding right now when you're lying
Okay.
again.
No, Mike, because all you do is interrupt. Come on,
No,
make
I don't
stuff up.
interrupt.
Rick, just
I don't
go
interrupt.
ahead and do your...
Stu Farrell was asked whether the proposed plan was in violation of DEP regulations, and his answer was it's not. The important point is not that, because obviously if it was in violation of DEP regulations, it would be illegal and you couldn't do it. What he did not say is that there's any obligation imposed by DEP to do this kind of what you want to call maintenance. There was no obligation that a town undertake a program of this type at all. You want to talk about it's like a haircut and it grows back. I'm looking at a photo, and the photo that I'm looking at is the approximately 6 to 8 foot tall, lopped off, cut off bayberries. That, your aesthetic views may differ from mine and from other people's, but to me,
Rick,
that's...
take the pictures
Mike.
in February, they're bare. Take them in June and July and August and September.
Mike.
You take them now, they're bare, of course.
I didn't take this now, Mike. This was
Right.
taken back in 2018 in the spring.
Right.
And it shows that
Since
these
you're
things
showing
were
that
lopped
to
off.
us, Rick, I'm sorry, I wouldn't normally interrupt, but since you're showing that to us down there, they're pine trees. Like they're not bayberries.
They're the Japanese
Might be in
pine
the-
trees you're talking about. They're not even the bayberry.
Yeah, well,
And that growth is filled in.
So-
Normally, I wouldn't comment on this, because I'm probably going to abstain when the vote comes, but I'm familiar with that property. It's right near me, and that vegetation has grown in, like it's thick, and it's not at all similar to what you have there.
all right, so you're assuming that you know where this is from, and that's your statement, that's
And
fine.
I do have to,
The-
since that is
the
my
point-
word, and that is someone, a neighbor, a resident that I am familiar with.
Right. To Mike's claim that nothing has been discussed before until this new ordinance came up last year, not true at all. This was a subject I had many discussions about and discussed from this dais a number of times, beginning in 2012. The program that people on this dais want to keep alluding to as having been a 30-year practice was never authorized by our ordinance. That's why the ordinance needed to change. So let's not forget that. It was done without the proper authorization in our ordinance, and the bigger point is that there was never public discussion or public evaluation of whether the program made sense in terms of it providing a public interest. It provides a private interest. It always
So why
has.
didn't you say something in 2012 when it
I
wasn't
did
right?
say something,
When it
Mike.
wasn't right, as
Mike,
you're saying.
what did I just say? I did say it. I had many
did.
discussions and tried to get the program stopped.
I've been
And in
around
fact,
3 years, you haven't said a word
Mike.
except before the election season.
Mike, everything you look at, you try to find some way to spin it that the person who is questioning your motives,
Rick,
your
you're
actions,
obsessed
has...
with the dunes. We have infrastructure upgrade, lowering taxes,
Oh, for-
all kinds of things going on here, and all we hear every meeting here, meeting after meeting, dunes, dunes, dunes. You know, it's old.
Yeah,
Get over
Mike,
it.
it's an agenda item. It's about the dunes. That's why we're talking about the dunes. When we're talking about infrastructure, you'll hear infrastructure comments. That's how agendas work.
Okay, thank
You guys want to have a program that affects the dunes, I'm going to talk about the dunes. I'm sorry if you don't have a good answer and if it makes you uncomfortable, but that's the reality of it.
May I ask a question? I didn't know if you were still going. I just want to ask a question. For the permits and stuff, as these go forward, would all of these be operable?
Yes, they would.
So if there was someone in the community who had a question or curious about what was going on, they could open all of these and the public could find out?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay.
Everything we do is Oprah. So, you know, we're not hiding nothing, so that's ridiculous. You know, not to you. And I'm tired of hearing about these bad haircuts. So, any other questions or concerns or comments? Hearing none, can I have roll call, please?
Did we have a public hearing?
I'm sorry, you're right, Mrs. Phillips. You want to come up now? Well, come on up. You're welcome. Mrs. Phillips is coming up. Yes, Mrs. Phillips.
You introduced it, now you have the public
Yes,
hearing.
yeah, I was
Well,
getting a little tired of the bantering going back and forth, you know. let's hear.
Good evening.
Let's hear what you have to say.
Ann H. Phillips, 308 27th Street. I have a prepared statement, but I would like to respond briefly to the comments made at this meeting and at the previous meeting by Councilman Sarah and also Councilman Reardon. And it concerns history of this program. Actually, it's a different history than what we have been told. And I became aware of what was going on a few years ago when it occurred on 27th Street in the Dunes. And at that time, it was explored and discussed, and what was happening was the city engineer was giving permits, and it didn't come to council at all, and the public was not aware of it until some stumps showed up in the dunes near your home. And at that point, council actually put the thing on hold, and that procedure stopped, and all of this evolved. So please, when you're discussing history, make sure you have your facts. And I was personally involved in this, since I wasn't happy with what was being done. All right. Before you, on council, consider amending Chapter 101, Section 16 of the City Code, consider the amended Ordinance 23 of 2018, which states in Chapter 101, Section 15, Item B, the following, quote, "The type of work and maintenance that may be conducted pursuant to the permit are described on the application form to be provided to the property owner by the engineer or his or her designee," unquote. Nowhere in the papers I received under Oprah, including the application forms of the permits that have been granted, is there any information fulfilling the nature of work requirement. Doesn't exist. The form does include an item, quote-unquote, reviewed by the engineer or his or her designee to sign. How can he or anyone review and sign for work which is not described anywhere in any of those papers in writing and without a clear purpose stated? All of this concerns changes by private owners to public property for private purposes and interests. There is no public interest here. The public and its property are served by our tax-funded government, whose comprehensive responsibility it is to protect, conserve, and maintain our whole dune system in a consistent, uniform, transparent, and effective operation approved by accountable elected officials. That means you on council. Now you want to duck that responsibility and accountability by removing Section 16, which says that City Council shall have final approval authority of applications and give that authority to an unelected employee. Neighbors and other taxpayers have a right to know who is getting and who is voting for special privileges on public property, possibly without good cause. Thank you.
I want to help her with
There, I got it, okay.
Thank you. Thanks, Mrs. Phillips. Anybody else from the public want to come up and speak on this matter? Seeing none, I'm going to close the public portion. Anybody else from council have anything? Hearing none, can I have roll call, please?
Lettieri?
Yes.
Haney?
As noted previously with this situation, at times I might be affected by this ordinance, so abstain.
Dewey?
No.
Reardon?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Mayor Simpson?
As many times as I heard that we're going to not be transparent on this, that's ridiculous. We're just allowing, we're not micromanaging our permit office. Again, I said to Chief Rehill, you don't call us when you give out a ticket, and we shouldn't be in the process of finding permits. or defining permits. You know, we have ordinances, and this ordinance has been on the books for many years. And again, Rick must have heard something else besides what I heard from Dr. Farrell. He says our dune system is one of the best dune systems up and down the east coast of New Jersey. And so with his expertise, I'm voting yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Ordinance number 3 of 2019, introduction, exceed the municipal budget appropriations. I need a first and second.
So moved.
Second.
Roxanne, you want to speak on this?
Sure. Well, as we get into the budget season every year, we continue to talk about two separate caps. One is the levy cap, which you're all familiar with, which is a 2% cap, and this relates to an appropriations cap. And we are given a percentage that we can increase specific appropriations that are called within the cap every year, and it is currently at 2.5% increase. This allows us to go up to 3.5 should we need to. And whatever we don't use this year becomes part of a cap to use in future periods. This is sort of just a good process, and it is also just a precaution. Should something come up out of that extraordinary that requires our appropriations to exceed the normal increases, this would allow it to happen. And we do this every year as, you know, as appropriate. We need to do it before we introduce the budget, and it gets put aside. We don't use all of the increase. We haven't since I've been here. We don't anticipate that we will, but it's a good precaution.
Thank you, Roxanne. Anybody have any questions on that?
Yeah, so basically, so we understand this is just a procedure thing in case we need it in the future, but we won't actually spend or use this money.
Oh, no,
That's correct.
that's correct.
Okay, I'm going to ask the public if anybody has any questions on this matter. You can come up and use the microphone, state your name. Seeing none, I'm going to close the public portion. Any comments or concerns with, you know, we got our brainchilds here from Roxanne and Leon, and Jim's is going to be his first budget and everything, so we got a guy coming out of jail right now, right behind us, so maybe he has a question. So, seeing none, let me have a roll call, please.
Lettieri?
Yes.
Amy?
Yes.
DeLucre?
Yes.
Reardon?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Mayor Simpson?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, Resolution 2019/35, introduction of the municipal budget. Jim, this is your first time around on this one. You know, I know you've done budgets for the police department and everything, and it's a little bit bigger than that. So, go ahead, buddy.
Thank you, Mayor. It is quite a bit bigger than the police department's O&A. This is the 2019 City Manager's budget presentation. The City Manager is required by statute to deliver to the Mayor and City Council a budget document for the preparation of the annual municipal budget. In preparing this document, the CFO, Roxanne, and I have met with each department head to review their budget requests. There was also a special meeting held in January, which was open to the public, where the department heads formally presented their operating budget requests. Roxanne and I have reviewed each department's request and worked together to prepare and collect the data for the budget document. We have worked with City Auditor Leon Costello to verify compliance with the State of New Jersey spending caps law, tax levy cap law, and other budget regulations. The City Manager's proposed operating budgets are compliant with the tax levy cap law and the spending caps law. Statutes call for the manager to present the budget document to the governing body, which commences the formal budget process under the control of the mayor and city council. This open meeting allows for transparency in the process, as well as an opportunity to report to the taxpayers and residents in the manager's budget recommendations. The working budget document has been prepared in the format required by the Department of Community Affairs, Division of Local Government Services, and includes the city current fund budget, the water sewer utility budget, and the golf course budget. The revised budget calendar allows for transmission of a budget document to mayor and council no later than February 28th, and introduction by the March 29th, and adoption by the April 30th or the next regularly scheduled meeting of the governing body. I am recommending at the conclusion of my introduction of the manager's budget that the mayor and council move to introduce the budget this evening as presented. The mayor and council will have ample time to review the budget in detail prior to the public hearing and adoption on April 3rd, at which time an amendment can be introduced if changes are necessary. Several years ago, the state divided all municipalities into 3 groups for self-exam, and Brigantine was placed into Group 3. On a rotating basis, the budgets for one or more of the groups is reviewed by the Division of Local Government Services, DLGS, for approval prior to council's adoption. The other 2 groups, based upon specific criteria and certification by the Chief Financial Officer, are eligible for self-exam and adoption of the budget. All municipal budgets are forwarded to the DLGS after adoption. In 2019, Group 2 will be reviewed by the DLGS, and Groups 1 and 3 are eligible for self-exam. Since 1977, municipal budgets have been prepared in compliance with a spending caps law. Each year, municipalities are allowed to increase the budget appropriations based on a percentage index similar to the Consumer Price Index, or CPI, with certain exemptions. For 2019, the CAPS, Cost of Living Adjustment, COLA, formerly in the index factor, is 2.5%, which limits growth in total appropriations to 2.5%. However, by statute, municipalities are permitted to increase expenditures by 1% up to 3.5% upon passage of an ordinance. Historically, Brigantine has been compliant with the spending caps calculations. This ordinance has been introduced this evening and is scheduled for hearing and adoption on March 6th. In 2008, a 4% tax levy cap law went into effect, which limited the growth of the municipal local purpose tax to 4% annually. In 2010, the tax levy cap law was amended, reducing the permitted increase to a 2% limit. Certain exceptions or exclusions are part of the law. The city manager's recommended budget is in compliance with both cap laws. As presented, the proposed 2019 current fund budget is $1,485,903 under the 2% tax levy cap limit. In addition, the proposed budget is under the 3.5% spending caps calculation by over $3.1 million. The manager's 2019 current fund budget, as presented here tonight, totals $29,794,381.87, and is a reduction of $525,916.47 from the 2018 adopted budget, and a reduction of $756,765.54 from the 2018 budget after the inclusion of the Chapter 159 grants. The local purpose tax of $21,368,397.66 reflects a reduction of $325,819.28 from 2018, and a combined reduction of over $1.6 million over the last 4 years. In fact, the local purpose tax for 2019 still remains lower than the local purpose tax in 2012 of $21,720,975. The city's percentage of tax collections continued to be strong in 2018 at 98.92%, and was obvious by the current tax and delinquent tax collections realized. This budget reflects a conservative approach to the anticipation of revenues. Total miscellaneous revenues without the reserve to pay bonds and notes, grants, and reserve for future capital projects is $3,254,500 in the 2019 budget. This amount represents a net increase of $108,000 in miscellaneous revenues over 2018. There were increases and decreases throughout most of the line items. The most notable decreases were in the municipal court and interest and cost on taxes, offset by the most notable increases in interest on investments and beach fees. City state aid received is anticipated to be the same as 2018 and is just $843,714, which is less than 3% of the total revenue for the current fund budget. The use of $2,850,000 in fund balance is equal to the amount used in 2018. Once again, with long-term budgeting and strategic financial planning, the 2018 fund balance was substantially replenished, and it is anticipated that a significant portion of the balance used in 2019 will also be replenished by the end of the year. As of December 31st, 2018, the unaudited fund balance stands at $6.2 million, which is approximately $134,000 less than December of 2017. Salaries and wages total $12,890,760. Total appropriations for salaries and wages in the current fund budget are $30,985 more than in 2018, or approximately a 0.24% increase, and includes required contractual commitments as well as $450,000 for accumulated leave compensations. Other expense total is $7,329,999, represents the operating expenses from all departments along with insurance and utilities costs, and reflects a decrease of $37,031 from last year's budget. There are fluctuations up and down throughout the various departments, but the increase in departments' operating expenses and utilities has been offset by a decrease in insurance costs. Statutory and deferred charges amount to $3,370,592, which represent a decrease of $200,934 from 2018, mostly as a result of an increase in pension cost of $293,801, offset by a decrease in both the golf course utility deficit and deferred charges of $368,000 and $146,735, respectively. The levelization of debt service costs is an initiative of this administration. In an effort to achieve that initiative, the 2019 municipal portion of debt is $3,104,398, which reflects a decrease of approximately $303,000 from 2018, is offset in part by the $125,000 increase in the contribution to the Capital Improvement Fund and acquisition of equipment. This will allow for the funding of the needed additional capital projects and equipment purchases anticipated during the 2019 budget year. The reserve for uncollected taxes is a calculation based upon the entire levy of the city, including county and school taxes. The calculation this year remains a conservative one and is based upon the current local purpose tax levy and an estimate of the school and county taxes. The 2019 decrease is approximately $8,000 at $1.427252. In summary, the manager's 2019 current fund budget, as presented here, totals $29,794,381.87. It represents a conservative approach to revenue projection and includes both the increases and decreases in the respective department budgets and other operating expenses. As presented, the local purpose tax is $21,368,397.96, which is a decrease of $325,818.98 from the 2018 budget, which was $21,694,216.94. In fact, the 2019 local purpose tax is $352,577.36 less than the 2012 local purpose tax. Based on the 2019 city assessed value, a penny on the tax rate equals $329,613. The proposed local purpose tax rate will be 64.8 cents per $100 of assessed value, a decrease of 1.7 cents from 2018. A property with an assessed value of $400,000 will pay approximately $66.86 less for the year in local purpose taxes. The water sewer utility budget is supported by the billings and fees charged for the consumption of water by individual customers. The water sewer utility, as presented, has a proposed balanced budget for 2019 and maintains its self-liquidating status. As such, any capital bond ordinances approved will not require a 5% down payment. The 2019 water sewer utility budget totals $6,094,000, a $38,167 decrease over the 2018 budget. The proposed 2019 water and sewer budget includes $200,000 of fund balance. The fiscal objective remains continued to the stabilization of the utility and its fund balance. The unaudited fund balance at December 31st, 2018 stands at $2,762,464.37 for an increase of $446,724.86 over the ending fund balance of December 31st, 2017. Expected operating revenues are directly tied to the anticipated expenses and the amount of revenue realized in the prior year. Salaries and wages total $1,075,000, representing a minimal decrease from the 2018 budget. Other expenses total $3,419,700, indicating an increase of $118,300 from last year's budget due to the operating needs of the utility. The debt expenses total $1,383,100 for a decrease of $18,000. Deferred charges. There aren't any deferred charges in this year's budget. That represents a decrease of $134,167 from last year's budget. Statutory expenses are $216,000 and $216,200 for 2019, keeping in line with the 2018 levels. The golf course utility budget for 2019 totals $819,950, a decrease of $358,057.47 as compared to the 2018 budget, due to the reduction in the debt expense. It is the goal of this administration to operate the golf course utility as efficiently as possible while maintaining the recreational opportunity for residents and visitors and preserving the open space that is so valuable to our island. The current 2019 golf course utility revenues has been anticipated up to the level of the 2018 realization, the amount of $772,950 and a $47,000 contribution for the anticipated shortfall. The 2019 budget consists of the value of the contract that the city has entered into with the Atlantic County Improvement Authority to run the golf course. For 2019, the contract is based upon the anticipated expenses required to achieve the level of revenue and came to $790,000, representing a 1.5% increase from 2018. Debt has decreased due to the effects of having paid off the general obligation bonds in 2018. The various departments submitted capital requests totaling $18.95 million over the next 3 years. Of this amount, $8 million represents improvements to the water and sewer utility system. A summary of the expected capital expenditures is included on the last pages of the budget document. This is always a work in progress and can fluctuate from year to year. It has been the intention of this administration to evaluate the current approved improvement authorizations and to either reallocate or cancel as to make the best use of funds already borrowed before initiating requests for new funds. In closing, the city's budget in 2019 continues to be managed in a professional and fiscally sound manner. This has been achieved through long-term budgeting and projections, maintaining proper allocation methods, sound financial records, while providing necessary reserves for future expenditures. Through a conservative approach to budgeting on revenues and limiting growth on discretionary expenditures, the city remains in sound financial position and has not relied on one-time revenues to balance this budget. The recommended budgets allow the city to continue to provide the same services in 2019 as in the past. This budget also provides for a very stable future. As always, I am available to meet with the mayor and council to review the budget and provide any additional information necessary. I would like to thank the city employees and department heads for their service and dedication to the City of Brigantine and for their assistance in the budget preparation process and for working together to continue to provide the level of service expected by our residents. I'm going to go off script here for a second. I really can't say enough and thank enough Roxanne, Leon, the amount of help and guidance and information they have imparted to me, and of course the mayor, yes, Mayor, thank you, has been simply immeasurable. I came into this, as the mayor alluded to earlier, as the chief of police, a small $200,000 OE, and in a short period of time, the two sitting to my left here brought me up to speed and allowed me to digest a $30 million budget. And I'm extremely grateful and thankful for all the hard work that I know they have put in. So that being said, I will move on. As stated at the beginning of this presentation, I now ask that the mayor and council consider introducing this budget this evening, and keeping in mind that any questions and concerns can be addressed from this point on and until the public hearing on April 3rd. Should any changes be required, an amendment will be presented for approval to reflect those changes. Mayor and council.
All I can say is, wow. You did a great job. We got another decrease in our pockets. I'm probably going to ask Leon a few questions about between now and 2014. The thing really sticks out to me is when you said were all-purpose taxes lower now than it was in 2012?
Yes.
7 years ago. I've been reprimanded by our Taxpayers Association to get rid of our auditor every 3 years. He's our Tom Brady. He wins too many Super Bowls. I can't get rid of him. You do a hell of a job, Leon, and Roxanne. I consider you the best CFO in the whole state of New Jersey and maybe in the whole country. I mean, you guys are a great team. We've built a great team here, and we just keep Brigantine moving forward in the right direction. I mean, it's just I'm proud to be your mayor and in the position that Brigantine is in now. It's really humbling. I mean, you guys do a great job, and Jim, you stepped into a little over a month ago and walked this thing right down the aisle. It's amazing. So I hope Mrs. Phillips is okay. She's the head of the Taxpayers Association, and we're talking about the budget, and she went home. Hope she's feeling okay, and
I think she was just worried about the roads being a little like...
okay, I just, I wanted, because I wouldn't believe she would leave with, our budget getting read out tonight, and see if she had any questions and stuff like that. So I just want to make sure she's okay. Questions from council to our professionals here?
Yeah, I have one question. So, it said that taxes are lower than they were in 2012. Are you guys aware of any other municipality that has achieved that? So this is something special
Can't hear
and
you.
unique.
Use the microphone, please.
Me or him? Now, I think that's something that's very impressive. I mean, over 4 years to lower taxes, $1.6 million. And I think it really goes to, our council team, but obviously our professionals, our department heads, our city employees. I mean, we have something that's very, very special here where everybody works together. Our employees really care about the city. They really care about the taxpayers. They really care about providing, a high-quality service. And it's impressive how well everybody works together, and it makes it, just very nice to be here and makes all of us very proud to be a part of this. We're lowering taxes again this year, $325,000. Very, very impressive.
Vince, one clarification to your question. Sure. There is one town that has a lower tax levy, and that's Atlantic City because they split the casinos out into a pilot.
Right.
So if you were to look it up, and you'd see that their tax levy is less, but if you add the pilot to it, then it won't be.
But that was 3/4 the value of their town away when they took out the casinos.
Right.
Mike, do you have
Yeah, hey, when it comes to lowering taxes, I have plenty to say.
Yeah.
So, our taxes now, just to make it perfectly clear, in 2019 are lower, they're lower than they were in 2012, and that includes the sloppy accounting and the unnecessary tax increases we had in 2014. They're lower than 2012.
Yes.
That's wonderful. And we're lowering them again 4 years in a row. What else can I say? It's beautiful. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
I'd just like to say here for those comments, and also with this strong fiscal management, we've also maintained that strong, increased that strong bond rating that we have, and it's been maintained, so we're really on solid footing.
Thanks, Dennis.
Can I just...
Yeah, sure.
I just want to say, you weren't our accountant and our auditor in 2013 or 14, is that? Yeah, okay, all right.
Rick, you have anything? At this point, we're just introducing that, so.
I'll read it first.
Okay. I encourage all council to get a hold of our city manager, and they can sit down with our CFO and go over anything on the budget and anything that she can't answer, which is nothing. She can answer everything. She certainly can call with Leon, and Leon will definitely have the answer for it. Again, I've been with Leon for 7 years now, and this is our 4th or 5th budget together, and he is a wizard. We bang our heads a little bit, we go back and forth, and we work hard together. And same thing with Roxanne. Roxanne's a very conservative person, and she comes to the plate conservative, and this is why we have a 5-year plan. When I first became in majority, we brought Leon on board, and I said, hey, we need a 5-year plan. Guess what? We need another 5 years. So we're going to continue Brigantine moving forward. Again, this is great news for City of Brigantine. Can't promise it every year, but we certainly performed, and our financial team performed. And Jim, great presentation for your first time around. If there's no other questions or concerns or anything, can we have roll call, please?
The municipal budget of the City of Brigantine, County of Atlantic for the fiscal year 2019. Be it resolved that the following statements of revenues and appropriations shall constitute the municipal budget for the year 2019. Be it further resolved that such budget be published in the Press of Atlantic City in the issue of March 16, 2019. The governing body of the City of Brigantine does hereby approve the following as the budget for the year 2019. Now I'm going to have roll call. Lettieri?
Yes.
Haney?
Yes.
DeLucre?
Yes.
Reardon?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Mayor Simpson?
Yes. And thank you very much, Leon, and your group.
Notice is hereby given that the budget and tax resolution was approved by the City Council of the City of Brigantine, County of Atlantic, on February 20th, 2019. A hearing on the budget and tax resolution will be held at City Hall Municipal Building on April 3rd, 2019 at 6:00 p.m., at which time and place objections to said budget and tax resolution for the year 2019 may be presented by taxpayers or other interested persons.
The reason you have to wait till April 3rd is because your Type 1 school and the Type 1 school tax levy goes in your budget also. They don't meet till last week of March, so we can't do it before they meet, so that's the date that we're going to be using as your first meeting in April. Also, the governor speaks on March 5th, I believe, with his address on the state budget, and at that time he'll announce what's going to happen with state aid. You're very non-dependent on any state aid, so anything he proposes is not going to radically affect this budget one way or another. We may have to change that aid depending on what he says. That would be an amendment we make on April 3rd and then adopt. Any line item that you can legally change can be changed on April 3rd. If something happens happens between now and then that you need to make amendments, so be it.
I encourage everybody to get a hold of Jim Bennett and then sit down with Roxanne and, you know, again, if they don't have the answer to Leon. Okay, thank you. We have roll call. We had roll call, did we? Thanks, Leon. Have a good night.
Again, Leon.
Okay, Resolution 2019/36, Emergency Temporary Budget Appropriation, General Appropriate, Current Fund. Appropriate. Can't say it. I need a first and second, I'm sorry.
Make that motion.
Second.
Okay, Roxanne?
Yes, Mayor. As you all know, in January, we did a temporary budget, and that is based on estimates of what we anticipate to spend the first, 2 months of, 2.5 months of the year. We have found that some of the initiatives that we're taking are coming along earlier than anticipated, which requires us now to do what we call a temporary emergency, to appropriate an additional amount of funds so that Public Works can go ahead and do
It's always the Public
complete,
Works.
yeah, the initiatives
You two
that
guys do a heck of a job, this guy in Public Works.
that they intend to do to get in preparation for the season. So this is a $90,000 temporary emergency that will be included in our actual budget, but by no means is a significant amount of money.
Any questions for Roxanne, or questions or concerns?
Roxanne, to the extent, if there are any contractual relationships reflected in these three items, these are contracts we've already entered into, and it's just a question of it came due more quickly than we thought?
Yeah, well, the public buildings and grounds, actually, John can speak to that better than I can, but we're doing some initiatives that we need to get done early enough prior to the season. So we doesn't necessarily mean we couldn't have entered in contractual relations with these specific projects until we had enough money to do so. The demolition, we anticipate that we're going to try to go out for bid for some demolition of property earlier than anticipated, and the contractual maintenance agreements are pretty much all the contractual IS agreements that we have that run our systems and become due possibly at the current part of the year. They cover the entire year, so I just thought I would put that in there as well. But the top two categories are really the crux of this whole emergency.
Thank you.
Any other questions or concerns? And I apologize for having a little piece of candy, but my sugar's a little low. Can I have roll call, please?
Lettieri?
Yes.
Haney?
Yes.
DeLucre?
Yes.
Reardon?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Mayor Simpson?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, Resolution 2019/37, awarding the second option year contract for police and fire uniforms. Any questions or concerns on this? And I need a first and second.
So moved. Second.
Any questions? Hearing none, can I have roll call, please?
Lettieri?
Yes.
Haney?
Yes.
DeLucre?
Yes.
Reardon?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Mayor Simpson?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Resolution 2019/38, authorizing general maintenance and repairs to various projects. Have a first and second, please.
So moved.
Second.
John, can you speak on this, please?
Yes, sir. As we just spoke a few minutes ago, this is one of the projects that we're undertaking. We're replacing windows at the lifeguard headquarters, trying to get it all done before the season. What you have in front of you is the pay-to-play. The windows came over the anticipated pay-to-play, but under the bid threshold, so what you have in front of you is our pay-to-play.
Okay. Questions
This is
by council?
kind of what we did with Mace a couple of meetings back, or last meeting.
Yeah, it was last meeting.
Yeah, almost exactly, but I have a contract with this company. I don't have a contract. I don't have any work going on for the one we did 2 weeks ago.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Hearing none, can I have roll call, please?
Lettieri? Yes. Haney?
Yes.
Jalupri?
Yes.
Reardon?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Mayor Simpson?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Resolution 2019/39, appointing a JIF safety coordinator. I need a first and second, please.
So moved.
Second.
JIF's our insurance company. John, you're involved in this. I think you're... So, can you give us who the coordinator is?
I am going to be the coordinator.
Okay.
I've been the coordinator for probably the past 10 years. My job is to coordinate all of our safety training from all of our departments, police, fire, beach patrol, and the staff at City Hall. I'm the liaison for safety between our insurance and our municipality.
So, does anybody have a problem with John Doring being our JIF coordinator? Rick?
Why would I have a problem with John Doring doing anything?
He would vote for him twice if he could.
What kind of cash you pulling down for that, huh?
Just another
What kind of scratch you get for that?
A goose egg.
Goose egg.
Sweet.
Bugats. There you go, Frankie. Okay, hearing none, no more questions? Can I have roll call, please?
Lettieri?
Yes.
Haney?
Yes.
Jalupri?
Yes.
Reardon?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Mayor Simpson?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, resolution 2014/40, appointing a JIF Fund Commissioner. Everybody has food in their mouth. I'm just pointing that out.
Karen Blowers?
Well,
Karen Blowers.
it's Karen Blowers, I know that. But you want to say anything about Karen? I mean, she worked with you.
No, but she's been the coordinator for,
Or John, you want to? Up to you.
along with John, they've been working well together. She attends all the meetings, the quarterly meetings, or any other special meetings that they have representing the city, and both her and John work well together with addressing any problems that arise through the JIF.
I know Karen. Karen does an excellent job for the city. Any questions? Hearing none, can I have roll call, please?
Do we have a first and a second on that?
I thought we did.
So moved.
Second.
Come on.
Thank you. Lettieri?
Yes.
Haney?
Yes.
Jalupri?
Yes.
Reardon?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Mayor Simpson?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Resolution 2019-41, appointing an alternate JIF Fund Commissioner. Need a first and second.
So moved.
Second. What's wrong with you?
Molly O'Neill?
Molly O'Neill? Yeah. I mean, you're the JIF
Yeah,
coordinator, everybody's good
We
with
have
Molly.
a alternate in case Karen is out ill or can't make any of the meetings.
Okay, any questions, concerns about Molly? Okay, roll call, please.
Lettieri?
Yes.
Haney?
Yes.
Jalupri?
Yes.
Reardon?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Mayor Simpson?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Resolution 2019/42, designating a JIF contact person. Need a first and second.
So, second.
Contact person is
Jimmy Bennett. You're hired.
It's Jim Bennett and Molly O'Neill will be additional contact person. And that is for the liability part of the insurance.
Okay. Any questions or concerns?
So this is if we have issues that we want to consult with an attorney about, and they provide the attorney, but they don't want people to have unlimited access to them?
Correct.
Thanks.
Can I have a roll call, please?
Lettieri?
Yes.
Haney?
Yes.
DeLucre?
Yes.
Reardon?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Mayor Simpson?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Resolution 2019/43, roadway solicitation permit for the Brigantine PBA. Need a first and second.
So moved. Second.
Any questions about the PBA? This is like fill the boot?
Yeah, it's for the Unity
Police
Tour.
Department.
Yes, for the Unity Tour.
Unity. Okay, can I have a roll call, please?
Lettieri?
Yes.
Haney?
Yes.
DeLucre?
Yes.
Reardon?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Simpson?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Fred, this is going to be a question for you. We're going into our consent agenda. Mike Reardon's been putting together the St. Patty's Day Parade, and we need to give him permission to do that. Do you want us to put this in, or you want to do it separate in the consent agenda?
I don't think there's a reason why I can't. Given the nature of the day, so let's make an objection.
Well, I figure I was paying you a lot of money tonight, so you have to do something. Okay, blow out the candle.
Andy, we had a late addition.
Okay.
Be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Brigantine hereby authorizes the installation of street lights at 204 4th Street North and 265 42nd Street.
Yes, we'd like to put that on the consent agenda too. It was, 4th Street North was, when myself and, my council friends over here, Mike and Vince walked around, and we had, some people that, they had a lot of problems, couldn't see at night at their, on their street, 4th Street, and we got there a little late at the night, and it wasn't really dark. And when we were having our meeting with Atlantic City Electric, John Doring got Atlantic City Electric to agree to put that street light up, and that's a great asset for that area. They call when you get a chance.
Any idea when they will do that?
It'll be a couple weeks.
Couple of weeks?
Yes.
Maybe you and Mike go down, knock on the guy's door, and what's his name, Vito?
Yes.
Tell him that he is getting his street light.
And then the second one is for the parking lot at the community center.
Is that by the tennis courts? Or
Yes, sir. It's very dark and we
That's
have
a good
no
spot,
lighting
yeah.
there. That is the second one.
Okay, we're going to add that on the consent agenda. Mike, you want to talk a little bit about the St. Patty's Day Parade? You know, you have 42 grand marshals.
Yeah. So, as the mayor said, we put together this year the first ever Brigantine St. Patrick's Day Parade, scheduled for March 16th, and it's going to start right here at City Hall at noon, and we're going to march down Brigantine Boulevard right to the Veterans Memorial plot. I guess we could remember Fighting 69th Brigade. No, Frank? Come on. Well, there was everybody in the 69th. But anyway, so that's that. I'm getting a lot of positive feedback. From different groups. The biggest thing we needed was a bagpipe band, which we have, and all different organizations on the island and establishments. We hope that it'll give somewhat of an economic boost that particular day, get things kicked off early, and we'll see what happens with it. So
Want to name some of the grand marshals you have?
Of course, the grand marshals, we started out with one. At the moment, we have 5 grand marshals, I'm happy to announce, including our former our Mayor Phil Gunther, Harry McGarrigle from the Elks.
Well, how did you get Phil? He sounds like he's more...
Oh, well, yeah, Phil's mother, I don't know if people know this, but his mother's maiden name was Mulligan, so that's how we got Phil. Not that he drinks like an Irishman or anything. But Harry McGarrigle, Father Ed from St. Thomas, which I believe there's a St. Patrick's party that night at St. Thomas Church. And then we have, well, we didn't forget the women, so we have Sheila Daly and Kitty Williams. And that's that for, and there may be one more, but I'm not going to say. I'm not. No. Mrs. Woods couldn't make it. She'll be in Florida.
Okay.
But there may be one more surprise.
Mrs. Reardon?
No, Mrs. Terry Reardon declined. So that's it. So March 16th. Yeah.
Okay, so on the consent agenda, we're also talking about the St. Patty's Day, March 16th, going from City Hall to the Veterans Triangle.
Yeah.
What time?
Noon time.
Noon.
Along with the street light and along with Brigantine Historical Society flea market request, Clean Action Ocean Beach cleanup request, American Legion raffle license number 873. I need a first and second.
Second.
Can we have roll call then?
Lettieri?
Yes.
Haney?
Yes.
DeLucre?
Yes.
Reardon?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Mayor Simpson?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay. Managers, really talked about everything tonight. Managers, council discussion. Jim, you have anything to discuss?
No, sir.
Anything that's going on besides the budget and everything like that?
That's pretty much the focus of city's attention these days.
Okay. Well, Paul, you have anything good for the... No. Dennis?
No?
No committees or anything like that?
Well, just as far as the Recreation Board, just everything's good there. and
Status
there's
quo?
Status quo, and there's be a lot of good programs coming up, hop online, and all's well.
Good. How about you, Rick?
I'm going to go with what Paul said.
What'd you say?
He said he's going to go with Paul stuff.
Oh, okay. Mike?
I'm good. Did I mention there's a St. Patrick's Parade on March 16th?
I thought you were going to go with lowering taxes.
Between now and April 3rd,
Yeah.
there's going to be a lot of that.
I have a couple things, if you don't
Okay,
mind.
Vince? No,
Yeah.
hey.
All right, so just one thing, quick update. Last time I talked about one of the streetlights on Sarazen. That light's been fixed. But one of the things I actually came across when dealing with Atlantic City Electric that might be useful to people is they have a grant program right now for anybody who's struggling to pay their bills. If you go to their website, you can go on there and they advertise it as a grant that if you qualify, you don't have to pay back. So it's something they're trying to do to work with families. I put it up on my Facebook page, Vincera NJ. You can get it there. I didn't know if it would be appropriate to put on the city's website. So I'll send the link if we can get that up on the city's website because there may be some need out there. So we'll check. The other thing too is I just sent an email out to the beach committee. We're getting prices on the next round of beach mats. So once the prices come in, we're going to look at that. We'll talk about it as a committee and then make recommendations to council on what we think would be good for the next round. I know that our superintendent of public works has told me that he's looking at a couple different products to see what else is out there and what's been successful in other communities. So as we get information on that, we'll be able to put that out to the community. But one thing that really came to light is the residents on Club Drive have actually sent a number of emails, which I've shared with the beach committee, and I know a number of them have been sent to council. And between the Brigantine Island Beach Resort and the Sandpiper, I think there's about 170 residents there, and a majority of those residents, they've told me, are over 62 years of age. So they're saying that this might be a good fit for the next beach mat because there'd be a lot of good use. And they said that a lot of the residents there have been unable to use the beaches, which they live right next to. So the emails have all been forwarded to the beach committee. We'll discuss them and then make recommendations from there. But I wanted to let people know that that was out there. One of the other things I wanted to bring to council's attention is that in New York City, I'm sure some people have seen some of the news things that Amazon is pulling out of New York City. One of the things that it's going to cost New York City is the potential of 25,000 jobs. One of the biggest complaints that Amazon had, or one of the biggest questions they had, was the fact that their local officials there were refusing to work with them. I know in conversations with our county officials and some of the press releases that have been put out by our county executive, Dennis Levinson, that Atlantic County is going to re-engage in trying to attract Amazon to come to Atlantic County. And that's something that we definitely need here. And not for tonight, but I wanted to see if council would consider putting forward a resolution to say that we would be willing to work with and support our county on that effort to attract companies like Amazon to create jobs for all the hardworking families here in Atlantic County. So it's something, if council would consider, I'd like to potentially see a resolution for the next meeting.
I think that would be a great idea, because those Amazon jobs that were lost, they were high-paying jobs. They were $100,000 on up jobs, so I would be support 100%. I don't know how about the rest of council, or if you want a voice resolution, or work with Fred, get a resolution up.
Well, I think
How do you want to do it?
Well, I'd like to say, just to poll council, if they're in favor, I'd like to have Fred put together a resolution, and we would send it forward to the freeholder board and to our state representatives to let them know that we would support this.
Did you mention Denny Levinson with his email that he sent off? Denny Levinson was on the radio the other day, and he mentioned that he sent off an email to Jeff Bezos, and he actually did get some type of reply. I'm sure it wasn't from Jeff Bezos himself, he's the richest man in the world, but as far as just maybe trying to
He can't text?
Atlantic County's name in the hat. What's that?
He can't text? Jeff?
No, there's nothing wrong with just throwing your, throwing
Yeah,
your name in the
absolutely.
hat there. You never know.
Let's,
We got
let's have a voice resolution to have Fred and Vince, you want to work with Fred and...
Sure, absolutely.
Everybody in favor of that? Okay,
Aye.
let's have a voice resolution. Everybody in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays?
What are we voting? To have Fred do a resolution?
Resolution.
We need to...
Resolution in support of the county's pursuit to attract Amazon here to Atlantic County.
So Fred will do a resolution, and we'll formally vote on a resolution.
Absolutely. Yeah.
By Fred.
We just wanted to make sure it was...
Make sure you're okay with him doing a resolution. Okay. Fred, you and Vince are going to work on a resolution to bring Amazon to
Brigantine.
Atlantic County.
Brigantine would be great, but I don't know if we have the infrastructure for it.
Brigantine,
But the Garden State Growth Zone around the airport might be a good fit for that, so...
Okay. I'm going to open it up to the public comments.
Mayor, I just make a...
I already asked you, you passed.
I got to go back up on that one.
Okay.
So there's just a couple things maybe that I just want to maybe reiterate, things I spoke about before, maybe our last council meeting. As far as the Recreation Board, come May, they're planning on doing a Time for Tots. So anybody, whether you be here tonight or out in our viewing audience, you want to call down there or go online or get whatever literature you want for that. There's going to be some good things going on there. And also, for our seniors, they're doing it started on February 13th, an AARP tax preparation. It'll be on Wednesdays and Saturdays, 9 to 1 on Saturdays, and the and I don't know exactly the time on Wednesdays, but need to call for an appointment. And our beach permits are on sale and discounted until March 1st, so that's, that date is quickly approaching, so if you want to save yourself a few bucks, get on down there. Beach badges will go on sale in March. And also, you alluded to the lighting in the parking lot. We spoke on our agenda. And also, John, the tennis courts, are some improvements going on there sometime?
I contacted a company a couple weeks ago in reference to some issues that we're having, cracks in the tennis courts, but we are looking to, Jimmy and I are getting some prices together to come to council to see about redoing some of the courts and adding pickleball. They want to play pickleball outside.
Very popular.
Great.
It's
Good.
gaining a lot of ground, yeah.
So if we don't get it constructed before the spring, we'll wait until the fall, but I will have the courts ready to play for the residents.
Excellent. Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
That's all I got.
Thanks, Ness. I'd like to open up to the public. Anybody want to speak on anything that's on their mind? Come on up. Seeing no public comments. I have a comment. Frank, can you come up to the microphone? I have a question for you.
It's like going to the principal's office.
Yeah, really.
Now, I'm up to the principal's office.
You
What's
know,
up?
I don't sleep very well at night, so around 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm watching this show called Parking Wars.
Oh, don't start. Don't start.
I want to know the difference between no standing and no parking.
Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't you call the director of the Philadelphia Parking Authority, since I'm retired now, and I think he'll be more than happy to answer your question.
So, you're retired, you ain't going to answer the question.
I refuse to answer the question at this time.
You're taking the fifth.
I take the fifth.
Thanks, Frankie. You're a good guy. You're a good guy. Well, I'd like to thank everybody for watching tonight. Any other questions by council or any concerns? I think we're moving in the right direction. Jim, great job. Roxanne, as usual, great. I just want to say good night, and you're watching your council at work. Thank you. We need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.